Answer engine optimization. Okay. If you've been reading dozens of articles about how to get cited by ChatGPT or Perplexity, you probably noticed something else. They're all vague. Okay. Make great content, use schema, build authority. Okay. But how specifically and in what order? And how do you know it's working, right? The framework I'm going to walk you through is the exact system I use to score every client site for AI citation readiness. Okay, it's 3 layers. It's schema, entity, expertise. Okay, and what I call C. They run in that order, and the order matters more than most people realize because each layer builds on the one before it. Okay, so I've used this on other businesses that I've created sites and done SEO for, and I've gotten real results. So by the end of this video, you'll know how to fix what first, what to fix second, and then exactly why the order is non-negotiable. Okay, so schema is the foundation. It's the structured code on your website that tells an AI engine exactly what piece of content is, and just as importantly, how the pieces connect to each other. Okay, so most sites I audit have either no schema whatsoever or just a generic local business block with like 3 fields on it that are filled in, and that's not what we're after. All right, we want a schema graph, multiple connected schema types that describe the entire entity, right? The organizational schema for the business itself, the person schema for everyone named on the team, right? With their credentials and connection to the organization, right? Service schema for every service you sell individually, FAQ schema, right, on your content pages with the actual questions and answers marked up. So article schema on your blog content with named authors linked back to the person, to a person schema. Okay. So the reason this matters for AI is that schema gives the engine machine readable map of who you are, what you do, who works for you, and what you've published. So without that map, the AI is guessing from raw text. So it has to read that. So without it, the AI has to, kind of like figure out what the page is about. By using schema markup, you're actually telling it what it's about. Okay. So this is the layer where every audit starts. Okay. Because nothing in the other layers works if you don't have the foundation built out correctly. So everything you build on top has, cracks in it. So you got to make sure we fill in those cracks before we, level down, if you will. So entity is the second layer, right? It's the AI search. An entity is it's a recognized thing, like a person, a place, a business, a product, a concept. That's the AI's knowledge graph, right? It already knows it exists. Wikipedia is the canonical like entity database, and Wikidata is its structural like cousin. So Google Knowledge Graph is built on top of both, and every major AI engine, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, pulls from these graphs to decide what counts as real, what's real and what's a citable thing. So if your business is a strong entity, you show up in the citation candidates whenever your domain is relevant. So if your business isn't a recognized entity at all, you don't enter consideration no matter how good your schema or content is. The schema you just built only matters if there is a recognized entity for it to describe. Okay, so building entity strength, it means showing up in places. AI engines, treat it as entity sources of truth. So Google Business Profile, claimed and fully filled out. Okay, Wikidata entry if you can get one. Crunchbase, LinkedIn company page, that matches your site. Industry specific directories for trade contractors, that's like Home Advisor and House, and for SaaS it's G2 and Capterra. For professional services it's the Bar Association or the Chamber. So whatever the AI engines treat as the real business in this category database, you need to be in there, right? And consistently be in there with matching information. That's your name, your address, and your phone number, right? So the single biggest entity signal you can build right now is a complete consistent presence across at least 8 authority entity sources with identical name, address, phone number, and website, and a matching written description, and that's your base. Okay, so expertise is the third layer, and it's the hardest to build, but it's the layer that separates occasionally cited from consistently cited as the authority. So AI engines are extra cautious about citing sources from anything that touches health, money, legal, technical, or any topic where being wrong has real consequences. So they lean heavily on EEAT signals now, which is experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. All right. So for your site, that means every piece of content has a name on it, a human author on it, a real person's name, right? A real bio with verified credentials. So every service page references real experience and real client outcomes, ideally with specific names. So you publish original research and original data, not summaries of other people's articles. All right, you appear in third-party places. Podcast interviews, conference talks, guest articles, books, trade publications, mentions, right? Those third-party appearances reinforce that you are the expertise, and it's a real and recognized outside of your own website, right? So this is the layer that takes time. You can fix schema in a week, you can build entity presence in a month, but expertise signals are accumulated over quarters and years. But you can absolutely start today, and the businesses that do start now will be ahead of those that don't a year from now. Okay, so you need to start getting cited. Now, here's why the order matters. If you start with expertise, fancy author bios, original research, podcast interviews, but your schema is broken, the AI can't parse who you are. So who the author is or what the content actually covers, the expertise signals you built don't transmit. So if you start with entity, listing everywhere, complete profiles, but you haven't built your schema on your own site, the AI sees you as a recognized entity but can't connect what you published to that entity in a structured way. So schema first because it's the foundation that lets everything else be parsed, right? Entity second because once your structured presence is clear, you need the AI to know you exist as a recognized thing. And expertise third because once you exist and you're structured, the question now becomes, do we trust this source enough to put this inside an answer? All right. That was a long explanation, but every shortcut I've seen people try the same way. They want to skip the expertise part, because podcast interviews feel like, a bear to do, or they want to skip to entity because listings are easy to check off. But the layer below has to be solid for the layer above to compound, right? So that's why every audit I run, starts at the bottom of the stack and works up. So fix what's broken at the foundation before investing in the layers above it, okay? So let me walk you through what that looks like end to end, not a hypothetical, that's like a real client, right? So service businesses came to me, a service business came to me about 90 days ago before this recording, right? It was 0 citations across 3 major AI search engines, for any of their primary buy queries, right? They had 0. Their schema was on a local business block. Their entity footprint was Google Business Profile only and nothing else. Their about page had no expert name, and their owner was the expert. So doing the work for 20 years, but his name didn't appear anywhere on the site. So we ran the C stack order, okay? So week 1, we built out the full schema graph organization, person by the owner, service for each of those 5 services, FAQ on every service page, properly nested and connected, all right? And in weeks 2 through 4, we built entity presence across 8 high authority sources, LinkedIn, Medium posts, articles, things of that nature, and any kind of industry, specific to that trade, right? So weeks 3 through 8, started publishing under the owner's name with his real bio, his actual credentials, got him on 2 industry podcasts, got 1 featured in a trade publication. So day 90, same buyer, queries that previously returned 0 citations, now cited in ChatGPT for the primary query. So cited in Perplexity for the same as well, and cited in Google AI overviews for the secondary. So from invisible to cited in 90 days with the C stack in order, right? So that's what the framework does. When it's run end to end on a site that previously had none of it, schema, entity, expertise in that order, okay? So if you've watched this to the end and you're not sure where you stand, start at the bottom of the stack, all right? Pick up your site in any schema validator online. See what's there. If it's a local business block, schema is your first project. If your schema is, is decent, but you're only in Google Business Profile and nothing else, Entity is your first project. So if your structured presence is solid, but every page is signed by admin, anonymous, expertise is the missing piece. So whenever, whichever one is your weakest is where you want to start. You don't need to do all three at once, but you need to start at the bottom of whatever's broken first. Okay. So that's the C framework. Okay. It's schema, entity, expertise, right? SEE. So schema, entity, expertise. Run it in this order. The same system I use on every client site I audit. So if you want me to score your site on all three layers with a specific list of what's working, what's broken, and what to fix and in what order in the next 90 days, I have an AI search audit. Okay, so it's down below in the link in the description. If you click off, you'll be taken to my website and you can see, me again on camera and what I'm offering. But it's a audit that I'll run for your, business to see if you're ready for AI readiness and AI search citations. So thank you. I know this was a little bit of a long-winded video, but I appreciate the time and hope to talk to you soon. Take care. My name is Brian Collins.